energy still driven. Storyline sharp like the steel we're gripping. From first row nerves to the world stage glow. Paul Coffee hits record, let the legends flow. Black belts, white belts, journeys on the wire. Every scar, every loss feeds a deeper fire. Flight miles stack, different flags on a G. Old school masters, new wave energy. We break down life, not just how to fight. Turn the grind and the doubt into God and light. Keep kicking, rise after the fall. Keep kicking, answer when it calls. On the mat, in the heart, in the mind. Every round shapes the warrior you find. Old wounds, new growth, let the lines blend. From the mat to the mic where the truths transcend. Champions, teachers, voices from the fray. Turn the bruises and the doubt into better days. Philosophy deep, but the groove stays tight. We unpack fear, ego, shadow in the light. Community strong, every story ignites. From the day you first tap to your last goodnight. Keep kicking, rise after the fall. Keep kicking, answer when it calls. On the mat, in the heart, in the mind. Every round shapes a warrior you find. Keep kicking. Keep listening. Paul Coffee hosts and the circle begins. Paul Coffee hosts and the circle begins.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Keep Kicking, the martial arts podcast where I have martial conversations with my martial arts friends. Today, I sit down with Michael. Michael, would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Hello, everyone. It's great to be here, and I look forward to chatting with you.
Absolutely. So before we get started, the only question that I ask that is not geared toward martial arts and martial artists is geared toward the non-martial artist, the person that's thinking about starting but hasn't started yet. And what advice would you give them?
For someone that might want to get involved, okay. Well, I mean, it depends a lot on who that person is, number one. So I would say who you are, what you want to do is define your goals, what it is you're looking for. You may or may not really be sure what that is, you know. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but, you know, kind of define what it is you're looking for. And then the area that you live in, you know, you just look around, try to find someone that's going to match those needs. I would say, you know, try it if you can. Don't just watch. Go in there and see if you can try it. Interview them like you would for anything else, okay? A professional is going to talk to you. They're not going to try to sell you something. They're going to talk to you to meet your stated goals. And I always recommend, too, nowadays there's so much information on martial arts, right? I have Tai Chi people come into my class. You know, I teach a variety of arts, so I'll just use this as an example. And, you know, well, I was on YouTube. I didn't see this form. Well, it's not on YouTube. So they come in and they think they already know a lot. And that's good. You know, it's good that we have this knowledge. But you want to find the very best teacher you can. It doesn't matter the style. I always, depending on what your needs are again. You know, if you're someone that wants wellness, then, you know, you look for someone that's going to be teaching that. If you want hardcore self-defense, look for someone doing that. But then once you know what it is you're looking for, find the very best teacher you can, even if it seems a little different than what you first were looking for, because that person's going to give you your foundation. From there, you can go on and do anything. I mean, once you have a good foundation in the arts from a good teacher that's not going to just blow smoke up your nose and sell you a bunch of this or that, but really is going to work with you, again, to meet your goals, that's your foundation. So that's the most important thing. Know what it is you're looking for. You know, what do you want out of it? And that can change, you know, as you start training. But have some kind of idea. If you're not sure, you just look around, talk to people, and then find the best teacher you can and work hard.
Very good. And whenever somebody says anything like that, I always add, be okay to have gotten it wrong and to start over. If you go to the school because you think that's the right school and a month in and it's not jiving with you, that doesn't mean that martial arts isn't for you. That just means that specific school, club, dojo is not for you.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. So now we will get started with what has been labeled the hard question of my podcast. The question starts with an omission, and the omission is, as a lifelong practitioner of martial arts, I'm not right in the head. I am a little sadistic and I'm a little masochistic, and I am in the minority. Most of the students that come through our doors are not that.
Right.
So the question is, Michael, how do we teach a non-violent person the ability to speak the language of violence when it's necessary?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Number one, martial arts is not about violence. It's not about violence. Okay? That's an image that's martial arts is so new in our culture. If you think about it, martial arts in Asia, and if we look at all of Asia, Southeast Asia, and then we go into Africa and the Middle East, it's ancient. It's as old. It predates modern human culture. I mean, people needed to protect themselves, right? So it's ancient. It's become very, very sophisticated. And the part that people see, this fighting part, right? Protecting yourself, or, the kick-ass part, right? That is the very tip of the iceberg of martial arts. Okay. So, and it's not just me saying this. This is how I've been taught. And the greatest teachers, they're going to, known and unknown, the great teachers are going to tell you this. So the self-defense part, that's part of it if you want to be a martial artist, but it's not about violence. It's about really balance and harmony. And part of balance and harmony is protection. We do it in our daily life. I just brushed my teeth. This is a podcast, but you know what? I showered, I shaved, right? Because I need to do it anyway. It's good to be healthy, right? So, so martial arts and violence, even the most hardcore martial arts, they salute, they bow, they shake hands. There's an ethic to it. Now, that's not for everyone. It's like football. Everyone can be a football fan. Maybe you play some tag football, you toss the ball around. Not everyone I used to love getting hammered to the ground. On a frozen day, you slam me as hard as you can. I'm 62 years old right now. I'd rather avoid it. I do know what to do. If I get slammed, I can take the fall. But you see what I'm saying? I think the whole thing is the mindset first. I don't want to hurt anyone. Unfortunately, I have had to use my art on the street when someone wanted to hurt me. And, I did what I had to do. I didn't have any animus towards them. It was just, again, I needed to protect myself and be healthy and, be safe. So I hope that answers your question. I would say, don't think of it as violence. Think of it as this is just, it's part of it is the protection, but there's so much more to it with confidence and fitness and, how you stand, even how you walk, how you breathe. I mean, I look at martial arts when it's properly done. It's like an owner's manual for your mind and body, how to use this properly, how to be safe, So anyway, I could go on and on, but hopefully that gives some kind of an answer to that question.
No, that does. It does indeed. And don't worry about going on and on. We're built on long form conversation. So since you said your age, 62.
Yes, sir.
How has martial arts helped you age? It's come up as a reoccurring theme that martial arts is almost the fountain of youth. So
well, it depends. Again, like anything, we want to train properly. You need to train properly. Training hard is great, but we can overtrain, and certainly you can undertrain. And there's many different styles. Some will promote wellness. It's really more like ingrained into it. So you look at, especially many Chinese styles, they're like a combination of yoga and healing arts and martial arts and meditation. It's all combined in, Shaolin, for instance, there's the 3 pillars of Shaolin, the 3 treasures of Zen, martial arts, and healing. And you can approach it from any of those angles, depending on your age. And, when I was younger, I always loved the whole package of it, but I'm more in the healing and wellness and the Zen part. I still love martial arts, of course. But yeah, so I can give you personal examples. Again, I'm very lucky that I met a great instructor with a very deep curriculum and in depth as far as different types of arts for different things, Chinese and Filipino styles. So I'm literally, as I'm talking to you, Paul, I'm going to share this. I'm actually what they call a survivor and thriver. I was diagnosed with terminal illness almost 6 years ago. They told me I wouldn't live for more than 5 years. They didn't even know, maybe a year. And because of what I do, again, there's wellness aspects to the arts, integrative healing, breathing, meditation, Qigong, Reiki, which isn't martial art, but it intersects with it. So I just availed myself of all that, and then Chinese medicine and herbs, and I lost a bunch of weight, and I'm still losing. And here I am. I go to the doctor once a year now, like anyone else. So, and I can give you other examples of students of mine and people I know. So it very tremendously can positively impact our health. I'm 62. People always think I'm younger. Now, I know I got carded till age 49 if I went to buy alcohol because I just didn't look my age, you know?
Right.
Now I have gray hair and I've gained some weight, but it really can, again, all things being equal, we got to, have a wellness lifestyle. But the martial arts is it's been designed to be that. You look at karate, Korean arts, they're designed to keep us healthy too, because that's part of my instructor used to say, when I first heard this, I was like, what? He said, the art is here. One of the main purposes is to help us survive life. And I was younger. I was like, boy, that sounds depressing. But as we age, yeah, well, imagine, you're 30 years old. What are you talking about? But he was older, and he's in his 50s. And listen, things change. And, it goes one way. It doesn't go the other way. So yeah, no, it can help us in so many ways. Our mind, our energy, fitness, our body, our attitude. That's the main thing, right? Like, I'll be in a wheelchair and I'm still going to be, I love life, man. I get up, I'm ready to go. I got plans, I got dreams, So yeah, there's so many ways it can help.
I love that. I love that. Can you talk more about what martial arts has helped you navigate that terminal illness? I assume there's a lot of the internal practice that goes into that.
Well, yeah. I mean, number one, listen, holistic and integrative arts, which is a branch of medicine now. In medical school, they learn about integrative medicine more and more. When I first started, I was fascinated from birth with martial arts. Sounds like yourself, something similar, like a karma thing. I mean, literally, we didn't have money, so I just started learning on my own. This is way before the internet. I got some books, everything on TV, boxing, wrestling, anything. My friends and my sister were my training partners. So then at a certain point, because I had a very challenging, the terminal illness thing started when I was born. I've had a very challenging upbringing. So I trained on my own informally. And then once I had my own money, I was already at the age of 20, high blood pressure, depression, arthritis. So I was like, you know what? I got to get going on the right way here. What happens when I'm old, when I'm 50, right? Now I'm 62.
Right.
So no more high blood pressure. So anyway, so I got involved and so that was my intent from the beginning. I loved martial arts, but I needed to be healthy. So I started training in Tai Chi, and Tai Chi again, it's Qigong. There's breathing, there's meditation, it's exercise, and it's self-defense, and it's philosophy of living. It's all this together. Then I got into the Filipino martial arts and the Shaolin. So specifically recently, I had been through some very challenging stuff the past 20 years. I'd have to write a few books to get into it all. But so I got very ill.
Then.
I've already got 3 books out there, and part of it's in there.
Awesome.
So, but yeah, so you look at the 7 Jewels of Reiki, my first Reiki book, and I talk about myself, and I give some case studies of other students who have overcome literally terminal illness. When the doctor told them, I don't know what you did, but just keep doing it, is what they told my students and myself. Just keep doing it. So yeah, so I'm talking about Reiki healing arts on myself, from other people, Qigong, breathing, meditation, and there's specific exercises you see for the issues they diagnosed me with. Okay, with my knowledge, and then we have in Connecticut one of the very top Chinese medicine practitioners in the nation, born in China, in a family of Chinese medicine practitioners with an ancient lineage. I found her, and she helped me tremendously. I don't see her too much now. I follow along with the Chinese herbs. I was having acupuncture. So there's a whole host of integrative medicine practices, depending on where you live, but it's pretty widespread now. And there's more and more of it. There's more and more. There's knowledge in the culture now, but they maybe don't quite know what it is. Like you see all these ads for Tai Chi walking and share Tai Chi, and a lot of it's, I hate to say, it's just an ad trying to rip people off. But it shows that there's so much knowledge out there now. There's more awareness.
Absolutely.
So meditation, breathing, stretching, specific Qigong, Reiki healing. I mean, now again, you don't need to do hours a day. You just have to be kind of My instructor gave me the best advice ever. I said, how much should I practice when I was new? He said, think of it like food. A little bit every day is better than one big meal a week.
Ooh,
so practice a little every day, right? We don't have to do hours every day. That's for experts or people that are gung-ho about it, right? But something every day. Wake up, stretch, breathe, do it again later. So that's what I've been doing. And I just, I take my meds. I still have some meds I have to take, but I go to the doctor once a year. I take Chinese herbs. I take supplements, all proven to be safe and helpful. Various, like CoQ10. There's various supplements for my issues that are very helpful and they're safe. So I would just encourage people to explore if you have illness and be open, because Chinese medicine and Asian medicine has been around for centuries for a reason. It works.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, in China, you go to the hospital, they call our medicine alternative medicine. And they just they diagnose you and send you to what you need and what's going to be the least invasive. If it's some herbs and acupuncture, why take drugs? If you need the drugs, you take the drugs. If you need the surgery, you have it. That's all there is to it. So that's what I've been doing. Luckily I had this knowledge, So
Love it.
I should have been able to avoid, but again, doesn't matter how much we can go through challenges in life. I mean, there's monks, there's great masters. They've been in war and it wore them down, So no matter who we are, that's the other thing. No one's perfect. Don't get down on yourself. Just do what you got to do. Find people to support you and keep going, man.
Love it. Love it. And there's that lesson that you finished with there is one of the most difficult things for most martial artists for some reason. We are very hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're not very good at giving ourselves grace.
Yes.
So,
well, the Asian advice and, to master these arts, whatever it might be, is to be unyielding with yourself, but to always be yielding with others. And it is true, right? The unyielding part means you just keep going. You don't give up. But we also have to, like you said, right? We got to be nice to ourselves too, right? So unyielding to ourselves means we're devoted to ourselves, just like we are to others. And we have to love ourselves and be compassionate and kind to ourselves, because we're not robots, man. We break down. The robot breaks down, right?
That's right.
Tech breaks down. Everything, in our universe, eventually everything's going to wear out. So that's us too. In fact, we're very fragile. I'm 62 now. When I was young, man, listen, I was never like I always had discipline, but, you just don't really think about sometimes the choices. And, so life is here to learn and grow. And, it's very important. We got to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, be unyielding. It's like Tai Chi symbol, right? It's yin and yang. They never separate.
Right.
The unyielding and the yielding is always there. And sometimes it's more of one and sometimes it's more of the other.
Very good. Very good. I'm sure that other guests know about Reiki, but nobody else has brought it up. So why don't you dive into Reiki a little bit for those?
I will, because this is part of my mission right now with Shaolin Butterfly, my school and my arts. See, that is something that, again, I grew up as an abused child, as long as I can remember. You name the kind of abuse, I won't get into it all, but I've been through pretty much everything. Lived with relatives all over the country. I mean, now people have had it a lot worse than me, but yeah, so just to survive was a struggle. Luckily, I did have my mother who was like a saint, but she sadly passed away when she was only 46 and I was 20. And then I had huge responsibilities in my family. I became a caregiver. I had to leave school. So that's when I formally got involved in the arts. As I mentioned earlier, I was getting ill. So anyway, I found Reiki about 10 years into my martial arts training. I was already a Sifu. I was a young Sifu. I thought I was an expert at the time. So when I first heard of Reiki, I want to be honest with you, I thought it was a joke that was being perpetrated upon soft-brained, mush-headed New Agers. Literally.
Okay. Okay.
Because I was like, yeah, you can't learn to have healing energy this easily. You got to become a monk and go live in a temple, right? But I was open-minded. I like to learn new things, you know? So I was living up in the northern, like northwest I was up northern Connecticut, where it's like less populated. Connecticut's a small state. But there was a small hospital that had an integrative healing arts day. This is mid-'80s, mid-'90s, when that was kind of new in medicine. And they were having Reiki sessions, food, music. So I figured, well, I'll go and at least meet some people, and we'll see what this is about. Well, long story short, I had a Reiki session on the spot. I went in a skeptic. You understand? I thought this was like a joke.
Yeah.
So number one, I didn't have any suggestion in my mind that this was going to help me. I had a Reiki session. I couldn't stand for an hour afterward. It relieved so much stress because, again, this is from my whole life. Now, I'd already been meditating daily and Tai Chi and martial arts every day for 10 years and training others. So I had made a lot of progress, but there was a lot in there still. And then on the spot, I quit drinking coffee for 5 years. I was drinking 20 cups a day at the time.
20 cups a day!
Black coffee, mainlining that stuff down one after another. As you can see, I don't need it. I don't need it. I could go to bed right now at 3 a.m. I'm up before dawn, and I'm 62, and I'm recovering from terminal illness.
Right.
I have my energy level is one of the things that messed me up when I was younger. So I quit drinking on the spot and had no withdrawal symptoms. So that was very unusual. So I learned Reiki. So long story short, the founder of this art, his name was, in English, is Mikao Usui, or Usui Mikao. He was actually a martial arts grandmaster born in 1865. He, just so people understand, for martial artists, he achieved something called Menkyo Kaiden, the highest level teaching certificate in the Yagyu-Ryu Jiu-Jitsu and Sword School before 1920, when this was not easy to do. He was a very serious person. He was a bodhisattva, a very devout spiritual person, devoted to helping people. He was involved in all sorts of spiritual arts, martial arts. He was like a polymath. In modern times, I'd compare it to someone like Dr. Mong Ji, if anyone knows him.
Okay.
Speaks many languages. He's the best at everything. So this guy, Usui, at a certain point, he was a very serious spiritual person, and he went and had a fasting retreat on top of Mount Kurama in Japan, a very holy mountain near the capital, Kyoto. And after this, he was a changed person. He dropped martial arts. He started teaching his art of Reiki healing. Now, Reiki is 2 words in Chinese. It's Ling Qi. It means basically in English like divine light. So you don't have to be religious. Anyone can practice Reiki. It works on animals. It works on plants. But the idea is that we're alive. We have the energy of life. So Qi, that's what the Asians, in China and in many Asian countries. So the Reiki, right, or the Ling Qi, this is like the pure spiritual energy of heaven. You could think of it that way. It has nothing to do with dogma because anyone can practice it. It's beyond words. So it only causes good things. It's like having I compare it to like a super tonic, like something you drink, or like a vitamin that makes everything better. In other words, like a superfood or super fuel that no one's allergic to, and it just helps bring balance and harmony. So that's what it does, and that's why it was thought of in such a special way. Now, Usui, see, he was really like a living Buddha. If you look at his shrine that's dedicated to him, he did not even name his art. He lived in the streets and just helped people. It was his students that organized it. He was a very unusual person. He was very professional and very profound, but he didn't, he wasn't like a modern, like creating ads and like cards. He was just helping people. His students organized it. And then it came to Hawaii and then to the U.S. mainland and Canada, and now all over the world. But yeah, so it's something that anyone can learn. It's very safe and simple. Nowadays, of course, like Tai Chi and martial arts, there's 1,000,001 directions, and people are branding and making businesses. Honestly, a lot of it is just made up. You got to be very careful. If someone says swipe your card, be a Reiki master, get a download, doesn't work like
Right.
that. It's simple and easy. See, you learn it. It's a non-intellectual process. It's a natural thing. So in my books, I get into it more. I'd happily talk to people more about it if they want to. But yeah, it's a very special thing. It fits in with martial arts because it helps us to be healthy, and so it's like a special kind of healing qigong, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you can practice on yourself with your hands. There's various ways to use it. You can practice on other people. You can now. I teach it to people. So see, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, it's see, in our culture, the idea of healing energy. I live in Connecticut. I grew up in Wethersfield. Wethersfield, Connecticut was founded in 1634, and they drowned witches. Okay. So the idea of healing energy, yeah, like Salem witch trials, we had it in Connecticut. And so the idea of healing energy is misunderstood. It's not witchcraft. It's natural. Gravity is energy. Sunlight, the sun is 93 million miles away, but it can kill us. It's energy. Reiki is just healing energy. That's all there. So I would say if you want to know what it's about, what you do is experience it. You find someone and have a session that cuts through all the words. It's really a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. I've had good Reiki. I've had bad Reiki. I
Good.
know.
Yeah, well, it's like anything, right? I mean,
Right.
people might just figure, I read a book. Now I can practice Reiki. I mean, no, you can't.
Right. What's your book and where do you get your book?
I have 3 books right now, 2 from Lotus Press, The 7 Jewels of Reiki and The Compassionate Touch of Reiki, Concepts, Elements, and Methods. They're meant as comprehensive guides for all Reiki people, like a textbook. And then the first one, it was 1 book, but it was too long. So the first one's like the overview and introduction. And also, I teach something called Butterfly Reiki System, which is very unique. I was mentored to develop this by none other than Dr. Meng Ji himself. And I learned many more standard types of Reiki. And again, I've been practicing Qigong and meditation my entire life, really.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not like the average kind of Reiki. Now, doesn't mean it's better or worse. It's just, it's very much in depth. So my book lays it all out, my books. And then I wrote a book on a rare style called the Shaolin Butterfly Style, which is a Shaolin internal art. All these books are on Amazon. Look up Sifu Michael Fuchs or see my website, ShaolinButterfly.com. But this is actually a style, Shaolin Butterfly Style, that was not taught publicly. So it has not been widely dispersed like, Tiger Style or Dragon Style or Wing Chun or Wei Chi Ru Karate. Many of these are, Tai Chi was not taught publicly until 1928. I don't think a lot of people know that. Since 1928, it's a huge worldwide phenomenon now, right? But in 1928, even in China, very few people learned that. Yang Cheng Fu began teaching publicly. The Shaolin Butterfly Style in my teacher's lineage was held within there as an art for Sifu-only disciples. When I first learned this, it was in a small class. We were already all Sifus, at least 10 years of experience with him, young experts. And he told us to not only don't show it to anyone, don't even talk about it. Okay? Because it's a very advanced fighting style and internal style.
And you chose to write a book.
Well, what happened was, hold on, I'll get to that. That was when I first learned. Okay. And of course, we all followed his directions. I would never, there's other things which I don't talk about because I haven't been given permission to do so. It's held within a lineage, you understand. See, my instructor had his public arts, and then we had what we were learning. So publicly, he taught Yang style Tai Chi, his version, but then there's all these rare styles that we learned, including Shaolin Butterfly Style, which is like, it would look like an exotic kind of Tai Chi. And there's some videos and stuff I put out. In fact, my book, and there's going to be more coming now that I have the skills and knowledge and how to create videos. But so then when I took over as chief instructor of the school and was running the school full time, he was he's the headmaster. He was the head, but he stepped into a role where I was running the school. He had been involved in the arts his entire life for many decades and went into the corporate sector and lived right nearby. We saw him every month doing a workshop. He conducted the tests and, issued the diplomas. So at that point, he did 2 public workshops at my school on Shaolin Butterfly Style, that I advertised for the public. So at that point, it was now a public art. So he is the headmaster of it. I've learned what I've learned. We learned that style the old-fashioned way. You would think, oh, this is an advanced class, right? No, we started by standing in place and doing the same exercise over and over for hours. And for a few weeks, we did variations of one exercise, even though we were already all, I could have been running my own school at that point. Then we started learning how to move and do basics. Then we started learning applications. I didn't learn a form until 10 years later because we already knew a lot of forms, you see. The Shaolin Butterfly Style, the symbol of it is the figure 8 symbol, the infinity symbol. And what it does is all the techniques it allows you to use them in a more efficient way. The butterfly style specializes in unifying your left and right sides with many crossed wrists and hand positions. You see it in other styles. So the press technique in Tai Chi, the X block in karate, right? These are butterfly techniques. They're crossed hands, crossed arms. This just happens to be an entire style that's based upon that concept with its own basics and forms. I did workshops at the World Karate Union Hall of Fame and at the Action Martial Arts Hall of Fame weekend, attended by various experts, and they all confirmed that what they were seeing was the real deal. And I wouldn't have been teaching it there if it wasn't. This comes from Dr. Daniel K. Pai lineage through my instructor, who was his live-in disciple and chief instructor, and then to myself. So this is definitely for real. So my book is on that, and there's more video coming on it. And then I've also developed Shaolin Butterfly Qigong system based upon like for instance, Tai Chi as a martial art, and then there's Tai Chi Qigong, right? Or Tiger Qigong or Dragon Qigong. So the Butterfly Qigong is something that is more simplified. I can teach it on Zoom. I've organized it into 9 lessons, level 1 curriculum. I can share it with others. And it can serve as a background, as a foundation for butterfly martial arts as well. But it's specifically aimed for health. So it's a unique thing. It's the only book in English on it. It's been reviewed by Michael DeMarco, the editor of the Journal of Asian Martial Arts, which is a great period. And believe me, he knows all about it. And so it's a wonderful thing. So those are my books. I was set to go on national and international book tour because they all came out at once. I had advertising in magazines. My agent and publisher were promoting my books, and then COVID lockdown happened. So 20,000 copies of a magazine with my article and name and ads went to bookstores and libraries everywhere, but no one saw it. But we keep going on, man. We keep going.
That's right. That's we do indeed keep going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there. Well, tell me how being an author, how writing affects your martial arts.
Okay. I'm currently on the feature writing staff of Deadly Art of Survival magazine. So in my life, I'm doing a lot with wellness now, but I love martial arts. Now, for those who don't know, that's the #1 traditional martial arts magazine on Amazon, founded by literally a living legend, Shidoshi Nathan Ingram. Nathan Ingram of New York City. And what it does for me, writing about martial arts and healing arts, it allows me to meet people, to make connections, to learn. I'm interviewing people for this magazine that are senior to myself. The last 2 guys I interviewed have between them 120 years of experience. So I'm learning a lot from them that I can now share with others. Plus, I'm exposing them to the world by writing a feature on them. So more people can, they're already well known, but now more people know about them. So yeah, plus I love to write. I started writing before kindergarten. My parents were artists. I didn't pick up the visual arts or like sculpture, but I picked up the writing bug. So it's something I love to do. So I combine it with my arts, and it's a win-win-win.
Right.
Plus I learn more. When you write a book on something, even something you're expert on, you've got to organize all that into a fashion that people are going to understand, hopefully. So it's I would recommend to anyone, you may not, if you are a martial artist or a teacher or even a student, you can write your own reflections, keep a journal, because that act of writing, it literally brings it to life. It's not just a memory now. It's going to your hand. You're either typing it or you're writing it. It really changes it. So I would highly recommend. You don't have to think of yourself as a writer. You write, And there's tools to help you refine it, or people that can help you.
That's brilliant. And I agree. I think that everybody should write in some capacity.
Listen, in school too, I recently have been sub-teaching in some schools, and these kids, they don't write too much anymore. And they think a book, that's like someone just invented the wheel. I mean, it's so ancient to them, but it's not typing on a phone or a computer. It's not the same thing. So
Right.
people should really be writing. And if you have children and you don't think they're writing enough and reading enough, then you should do it with them. Because I'm telling you, as someone I'm not the greatest educator in the world, but I have enough experience. I was a tutor in school. I was a professor's assistant. I'm a lifelong reader and write. I mean, it really makes a difference. Read, write.
Absolutely. Well, and like you said, the tactile,
Right.
getting it out with pen to paper.
Listen, if you're just doing martial arts with AI and watching it, you're never going to have it. You got to
Right.
do it. Right?
Absolutely.
You got to do it.
Absolutely.
Just do it.
Just do it. I don't know if you have seen episodes where I've been interviewed and we talk about my past, but I also was an abused child.
Okay.
And so now I'm labeled as the nonviolent guy, and I'm labeled as the guy that heals trauma through martial arts. And so you don't have to share your traumatic experiences with me, but how has martial arts helped you heal trauma and navigate the trauma of the past?
Geez, boy, I wouldn't even know where to start. It's helped me in so many ways. Okay, number one, when you find the right teacher in place, you are in a safe environment.
Yes.
You're in a place where you're safe and you're nurtured and you're respected. So right there, that's a huge thing. For someone who's been abused, this is what you need, right? I remember, so anyway, I won't get into that, but you got to find the right place, and it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be people, no matter where we go. I mean, you go to church and people might say something silly that you don't like, So we can't be too thin-skinned, but you find something that, and that's, again, we're all who we are. I'm not judging anyone because, I've been there, but it's a safe space. That's what a kun, a dojo, it's basically like a temple is how it should be. Now, so it can be more laid back. It can be more serious depending on the school, and it can be fun too, of course. Just like in a church, we can have fun, right?
Right.
So that's it. And then the training, it helps you work out the stresses. It helps you work it out in a lot of ways, and you're making new friends. You have comrades, and it's a journey, So as you're ready, like for instance, okay, in martial arts, breathing is a huge thing, right? And for health, proper breathing. Now in our culture, we're not really taught about this. Health is take a pill and go see the doctor. Now there's more like, have a good diet and get some exercise. But things like breathing still haven't penetrated, like our mind and the internal parts, right? This is very important. It took me almost 10 years before I could take an abdominal breath. Now, when I practiced, I was breathing abdominally.
Right.
But during the day, I had so much tension stored that it was like my stomach was in a knot. And I remember, literally, it was like I gave birth. I was like, wow. I was just breathing deeply. I was really calm and relaxed. And now, again, I had experienced that. I remember I learned transcendental meditation shortly after starting my martial arts training because Shaolin has Indian origin, originally from Buddhism, right?
Right.
And I wanted to learn the whole thing, man. I started learning yoga and meditation and Indian arts, Chinese, Jap, everything. So I remember after learning transcendental meditation, it was so relaxing. The next day I woke up and it was the first time in many years I was relaxed and I could hear the birds chirping and just a beautiful morning, not waking up in trauma. Okay. So there's the practices that we get involved in martial. There's so much more to it than punching someone in the nose or choking them out. You're learning to breathe, right? And there's arts that specialize in the healing parts. So I'd recommend. Now, again, everyone's different. Maybe for you, it's going to be you want to get into MMA and just start beating the snot out of each other in a structured way, right? Maybe that helps you work it off. Maybe Tai Chi's not your game, right? That's fine. because I like to go hardcore too, you know? So,
Right.
but so I mean, that's one example. It literally took me almost 10 years to start breathing more naturally, you know, the way you
That's
should be
good.
for health.
You know, I think though that the way that we view trauma is a little disingenuous to those that are traumatized, you know, and we kind of think of it as like it's just the triage, the immediate, the heal the broken bone and let the bruise heal or mend the wound. And we don't often take the time to consider the internal, the
Of course.
after, and then you're carrying around with you for 10 years, and it takes 10 years to learn how to breathe the right way.
No, I still am. I'm,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that even when you heal most of it, it's there because it's a memory, you know, and it's something
Mhm.
there to learn from. And in fact, you can get to where, like where I'm at now, I give thanks for this stuff because it taught me. It's a
Oof.
teacher.
Not there yet, brother, but hopefully.
Okay. Well, you can get there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, and then we might have to do a lot of work to get there, and you know,
Mhm.
and that's me, you know. So, but so yeah, but let me in Reiki healing, and this is a holistic healing maxim, and it's true in martial arts too, that if we don't heal the source, then you see, you know, heal the source and then the symptoms go away.
Mm.
We have to deal with the symptoms, right? We got to deal with, like you said, the bruise, the wound, but that other part, that why did this happen? Now it can get very deep. I mean, once we start talking about like karma and things
Mhm.
like this, right? It's very deep, right? For
Right.
those who don't know about that too much, you know, why am I here and why am I having this experience? It's not because God hates me or the universe hates me. Life is a
Mhm.
school. We're here to learn. And some people in their lifetime never have the opportunity. They may be born, tortured, and killed. Right. So that's why
Mm.
I say whatever I went through, it's compared to what some people are going through and have been going, it's nothing. So, so it helps us to deal with that, like you said, and that right, that's a whole that's a culture thing. See, our culture is right, it's the symptoms, you know, and but self-care and you know, heal the cause, heal the root, and you've healed the symptoms. Now you got to work at it on both ways, right? But yeah, definitely it's very true what you said.
Thank you.
Hmm.
What do you think the average martial arts practitioner neglects in their practice?
The average martial arts person neglects, boy, that's a good question. You know, I would just say look at it as a holistic thing, whatever it is you're
Mm.
doing. You know, there's a lot more to it than what you're doing, you know? So we should
Absolutely.
be open-minded and, you know, there's many facets to martial arts. There's many styles and backgrounds. And so I would say, like what we just talked about, the internal parts is
Mhm.
probably the biggest thing. And martial arts are very deep. Asian martial arts,
Absolutely.
I mean, I've heard experts, and I'm not going to say, they don't understand what a stance is for. They think it's just to make their legs strong. And
Mm.
it's like, no, that stance is 1,000,001 techniques combined with your hands. I just had a short conversation with this famous grandmaster, George Dillman, who's well known as a very advanced martial artist. And there was a picture of him performing. Now you see he's doing a knuckle strike to the jaw, which was very painful, but his knee at the same time was striking the outside of the knee in the other person's stance.
Mm.
And the whole combination, again, now this is a guy that's very skilled, can hit the point, you know, no matter how fast things are going. But martial art, the stances are not just to stand in, you know, when you see a reverse punch in a bow stance, that's a takedown. That's an escape, you know, that's yoga,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Where in yoga, they have the warrior posture. It comes from martial arts. So it's very deep. So I would just say, like, you know, whatever you're learning and whatever we think we may know, there's more. I met it, you know, again, my instructor is very extremely knowledgeable and advanced. You know, and then I met Dr. G and he visited our school. My instructor's hanging on his words like I'm hanging on his words. There's always more.
Mm.
You know, he's a
Always
guy in
more.
his 80s, he's 90s. So anyway, so yeah, it's very deep. Look at the internal parts of whatever you're doing. Listen, MMA, you could approach that as internal style if you want to make it even better.
Absolutely.
Study some Tai Chi. The Los Angeles Lakers, the great coach Pat Riley, had Shaq O'Neal and other guys doing Tai Chi to improve their body mechanics, to improve their mind. And those are world-class athletes. So it's very deep. There's more to it than whatever it is that we are doing. And just be open, explore. And I guess that's, I could probably keep going, but I think that answers your question, I hope.
That does. It does. It does. If you can give every martial arts practitioner one thing, technique, concept, philosophy, teaching, idea, thought, what would it be?
I'm going to share what my instructor shared with us.
The
most important thing is respect.
Yeah.
So my instructor, my instructor was born in Okinawa, an American father. He was what they called a bonus baby. After World War II, his father was in the military reconstruction of Japan. Had a little bonus. Brought the bonus here. He was raised here. So he started training in Japanese styles in 1961, which are very formal, especially back then. You cleaned the entire dojo and outside, the street, the sidewalk, before you trained and after. Every single time you trained, you cleaned it. Because in that tradition, cleanliness and purification, that's a lesson. It's like wax on, wax off. It's a lesson. So we used a break stance. Even though we taught a Chinese style, we're Americans. He has an eclectic background. So we used a break stance in our Tai Chi as well. Now, we had a way we did it in Tai Chi that was a little different than Shaolin. As you know, in the martial arts, there's 1,000,001 salutations and bows.
Yep.
And you can get a PhD in salutation and bowing, 5 PhDs. So he told us the break stance contains the entire art in a seed essence.
Ooh.
So the closed right hand, the left palm meets it. The left palm is over it generally. And you're standing upright. You're paying respect. And at the same time, though, this is a mudra. It's a posture. It's yin and yang. It's Tai Chi. It's internal and external. It's everything. And as I practiced now for almost 40 years, I first heard that almost 40 years ago. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I was like, okay, this guy, he seems to know what he's talking about.
For sure.
So I would just say, yeah, look at your art from a concept viewpoint. And if we don't respect ourselves, we're not going to be healthy. If we don't have respect for others, we're going to be in trouble a lot. So, yeah, I would say it all. And I've mentioned this to other grandmasters much elder to me from the old school. And in fact, in my interviews recently with these two gentlemen, which is going to be in issue 27 of Deadly Art of Survival magazine that comes out the end of this month, issue 27, I'm going to put a plug in. But these two gentlemen, they both told me the same thing. This is what's lacking in some of the arts now. It's not a sport. It's a dojo. You're learning in a school. You're learning a life art. It's not just about choking someone out.
Yes.
So we got to be, otherwise we're just like a criminal. We're no different. I'm just going to, might is right. We're going to put the fist over the open palm, or we're just going to do away with that control part, right? So respect and everything that goes with that, because otherwise, we don't have anything. We don't have an art anymore,
right? Absolutely. Then it's just martial,
right?
What didn't I ask? What did you want to say that you didn't get a chance to say? And where can the people find you?
I mean, I think we talked about a lot of things, so I won't get into like what else I didn't say. You can see me at ShaolinButterfly.com, one word. Of course, I'm on YouTube, Shaolin Butterfly YouTube at Shaolin Butterfly, I think is how that works. Facebook, Instagram, my books at Amazon. Yeah. So I guess that's about it. It's been great to be here and chat with you and meet another fellow brother who's been on the healing path in the arts. And I guess what I'd say is, for those that can, if the arts have helped you get through trauma, and you can't share that, if you're ready to, right, then do so, because people need to hear it. It's more people than people know. They don't understand that trauma, like abuse, is a huge. And I don't mean just like someone stole your cookie, right? I'm talking about you're being abused the way a child
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that could be neglect. It could be a lot of things. And if you've been through this and you can try to use your story to help others, and then please do so.
Agreed. And if you need to talk to somebody, reach out. I am
Well,
more
that's
than
the other thing,
reachable
right? If you're on
and
the other
available.
end, man, and you're suffering, you don't have to suffer alone. I have a very close relative, and again, he's like a son to me, really. And I know what he's been through because he's like a son to me. And he hasn't been on the path I've been on, and he's not open to it. And I try every way I can that, we can heal, we can grow, we can change. We don't have to be locked into this. And so be open to that, right? My second Reiki teacher, who's a
Mm-hmm.
very profoundly gifted person who died twice on the operating table and came back and remembers everything, a true clairvoyant. She can actually, I'm telling you, because I've been around there, and she said things that no one would ever know, and seen things like, how the heck do you even know this? She was Ella Grasso, the former famous governor of Connecticut's daughter, Suzanne Grasso. Anyway, so very unusual person. And the way she put it was, for healing to happen, we have to, even an intention as mild as, one day, perhaps when I'm ready, I will consider the possibility to be open to, maybe at some point, the possibility that I can heal and change and grow. Maybe not today. I don't even know when. It could be in my next life. But just open it up a little like that, like maybe. And then the light starts coming in, man. And when you open a window, guess what? There's a whole new universe.
That's right.
So
That's right.
be open to it.
Brilliant. Michael, I thank everybody that sits down with me first and foremost for your time. I know time is a precious commodity that we have far too little of, and I'm grateful that you gave me.
Listen, there's nothing more important for me than sitting down here today and talking to you and your audience. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
I appreciate you. The second thank you goes to you again for sitting down and having this conversation. You're part of my martial arts journey, whether you like it or not. You fold
Likewise,
into
brother.
my
Likewise,
33
it's great
years.
to meet someone, because till you actually chat with them and everything, you're just seeing what you're seeing. So it's been great to meet you and chat with you too.
Absolutely. Thank you. I want to thank everybody that watched, listened, some combination of this. I hope you got something out of it. And like always, everybody, keep kicking.
Aloha, brother.